life and my writing, my authenticity has changed everything. From the way that I sit down with a group of people, who I write with, where I write, why I write, why I record, why I sing, because there was a moment in my life when I made this decision to be my authentic self. I made that decision knowing that I might not be able to have a career in country music, that I might be walking away from it. It was more important to me to live in my skin and be happy and be an authentic man than it even was to do music. With the new album and the new sound, it was very interesting because I really struggled in the beginning because I've had a lot of music out there in my past. My first album came out in 1996, 95, 96. So in country music, we can sometimes get stuck in a little bit of a rut. So I knew that I wanted to recreate the Ty Herndon brand and sound with this album. So I wanted it to be fun, but it also, with my story, it had to have a serious overtone of the meat and potato of the album. And so we started diving in and writing songs like House on Fire, which became the centerpiece of this album. And quite honestly, the writing process, when we got that deep in, became very difficult. A lot of emotions were involved in that. So I would find myself leaving the room a lot and just wondering, do people really want to go that deep with lyrics, and they really want to hear that much? We always came back to, hey man, we're telling a story, and this is just the way it is. So House on Fire is about as deep as we go, and it cuts pretty deep. It gets into some real issues with my spirituality and my religious background growing up and how I got through that. So we centered that right in the middle of the album, and then we just kind of go from there, from the beginning to the middle to the end. It tells a story, which is something I've always done with my album. The main thing for me was being as authentic as possible with this music, and I noticed that about halfway through, my producer said, "Hey, I don't know if you realize this, but you're really leaning towards a non-gender theme with this music." And I said, "Wow, we really are." So I didn't really intend for that to happen, but then I got to thinking about it. For me, I want anyone that hears this music to be able to put their own lives into it. I want, from whatever walk of life that you come from, I want you to be able to put this album on and go, hey, that happened to me, happened to my mom, my dad, or someone that I love. And so the album is completely non-gender. Anyone who wants to listen to this music can absolutely put their own stories into it. And so that was really, really very important for me as I was telling my story through songs. I mean, I get to sing about, letting the top down on the car or letting the windows down on my pickup truck and just driving fast, on a country road or on the freeway. The album kicks off with that kind of night. And then just moving into a song that I wrote for my partner, number 2 on the album, a song called Sweet, Sweet Way to Go. You're going to be the death of me I know, but what a sweet, sweet way to go. Closing the album out with a song called Fighter, man, because I'm out there doing my best to change hearts and minds and educate people. And I know there's a lot of my brothers and sisters out there who are still struggling so much. And not even just in the LGBT community, just people in general. We all go through stuff in our lives. So there was always this thing in me, and I guess it comes from generations of my mom says it comes from generations of some pretty strong women in my background, and the guys were great too. But I've always been a fighter, and the moments that I have been at my worst and my lowest in my life, there was always a seed of faith in me, and I considered that to be that I tell kids this all the time. There's a little seed of faith that's planted in you that is just a fighter, and you got to find that. You got to fight for who you are and what you want in this life. So I want any kid that wants to be a country artist to know they can be exactly who they are. And I wish someone had told me that earlier on. You just have to be the best you can be. You have to be the best songwriter, the best singer, the best studio musician, whatever you want to do. Being different or being gay, or it's just a part of your story. So in country music, that can sometimes be difficult. So I wanted to put a product, a brand, and a story out there that that little 12-year-old Ty Herndon sitting at home will hear that. It's a strong message.